Aries, this is Mystic GLoLady, and this is your reading for September of 2015. As you can see, it's a new format. I will be going over these in a separate video so that I can hopefully teach you the different symbols, glyphs of the astrology, so when you listen to other readers, you can really understand what they're talking about. So Aries, right here is your glyph for Aries, and you are the great I am. And Aries is ruled by Mars. It's a fire sign, it's a male sign, and it is those who are born between March 21st to April 19th. And it symbolizes independence, courage, a pioneer, and it is a cardinal, which is an active sign, and it also symbolizes the present. So as you can see, I have a new title system, and hopefully you will like this one. And yes, it's going to be different next month because I will be trying to fine-tune it. And yeah, we have let me see, 2 more to go, or is it 1 more? 1 more to go until the 6 months of doing these. And as you can see, they have greatly evolved in the process. So this is a general reading, and what a general reading is not your birth chart, okay? Your birth chart, if I was doing your reading, we would start it out with the Ascendant. The Ascendant is what goes in your first house. But since this is a general reading, okay, it is symbolic of Aries. And if you do know your ascendant sign, I would suggest listening to that, because that will be more exact as to what planets are playing in your houses. Okay, so we're going to start it out with the sun. Okay, the sun. As you see the different glyphs on it, on the top left, that is the glyph for the sun, and it is at home in the sign of Leo. Okay, you see the Leo glyph up there on the right hand side. Now you're also going to see other things that I have put in here, and it rules the ages of 21 to 42. It's one's essence, your spirit, and it symbolizes husband, wife, father, vitality, and health. And it is a fire sign that rules the 5th house. So the sun, starting it out, it will be at 8 degrees of Virgo. Okay, now that is up here in your 6th house. If your ascendant is Aries, or as we said, general readings, you have to take it symbolically. And the 6th house is your work, your health, your daily routine, okay? And Virgo is in that, in your 6th house, okay? So that will stay there until the 24th, when it does move into Libra. Right down here, 0 degrees of Libra. Okay, so the new moon that we have in September on the 14th will be at 20 degrees of Virgo. Now this moon, okay, this moon is also going to be a solar eclipse. Okay, so it's really going to be amplifying this. Okay, so you see the glyphs on here, and it talks about the signs changing every 2.5 days, and rules birth to age 5. It's Monday, and new moons are good for new beginnings. The soul, the emotions, mother, wife, magnetism. What are you going to be bringing to you? What are you going to be manifesting to you around the 14th of September? Okay, it's a solar eclipse, so keep an eye out for that too. All right, so that is also in Virgo. So as Leo was roaring last month, it looks like, or Leo was roaring last month, it looks like Virgo is starting out roaring in the month of September. Now, as with the new moon, we also have a full lunar eclipse on the 27th, and that will be at 4 degrees in Aries, and that is my ascendant, 4 degrees of Aries. So I'm wondering what that full moon, that lunar eclipse, is going to be bringing me. So, Aries, right there. New beginnings. Who are you? Who are you? Yourself, your body, appearance, letting go of the things that aren't working. And I do paranormal photography, and it was on a lunar eclipse that I have a picture of my fairy mugshot. People say orbs are bugs, and I say, yeah, and this one stopped and posed for me. So I'll have to see if I can get that photo out and show you. Okay? Now, in Mercury, we started out at 5 degrees of Libra, Libra, that balance. Now on the 17th, it's going to be going retrograde, okay? Retrograde at 15 degrees of Libra. And at the end of the month, it's still retrograde in Libra. It's back to 7 degrees. And can you see what it says about retrograde down there at the bottom? Electrical, mechanical, communication, breakdowns. Well, if you follow Mercury retrograde, that is something that you know quite well. So, back up your communications prior to, well, really get it done now. You know, it might be going retrograde on the 17th, but that doesn't mean that there isn't, you know, give a week or two shadow. So back up your things the beginning of September. Check your cars. Just you know, keep an eye out, because if it's going to go wrong, it will go wrong, and you really do not want to sign contracts during a Mercury retrograde either. And if it's something that you have to do, make sure you get a warranty with it, okay? Because, as I said, chances of are greater during a Mercury retrograde. So Mercury is going to be in Libra in your 7th house of partnerships, marriage, contracts. Okay, so when you're talking about communications and you're in the marriage, contracts, partnerships, relationships house, okay, that's something that you want to pay even more attention to. Remember, say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean, but yeah, dot those I's, cross those T's, because Mercury retrograde will bite your butt if you don't. Okay? So, Venus, that goddess of love. Venus and Mars are conjunct on the 1st when we're coming in. They are still in Leo, okay? 14 degrees retrograde in Leo. Now remember what we had said about Venus. You know, when Venus is retrograde, that the laziness, drama, focus on money is greater than. Now, Venus is going direct on the 6th, and that will be at 14 degrees of Leo, and it will end the month of September at 23 degrees of Leo. Now, Leo is in your 5th house. Fun, creativity, sex, children. Leo, that pride, confidence, that performer, loving of. So the month of September, keep an eye out for good things coming to you. Right now, you've probably had some old lovers that have been coming back and making their presence known. And just wait until after Venus goes direct on the 6th. Well, give it another week after that, middle of the month, before you really make any decisions about romantic partnerships, new romantic partnerships. Okay, because Venus has been retrograde, so that doesn't mean that, it's always with a clear view, okay, loving with a clear view. Now, Mars. Here we have Mars. Okay, Mars, as I said, it is conjunct Venus on the 1st at 14 degrees of Leo. And Mars is direct. Let me get that. There we go. Mars is direct, and it will, on the 26th, be at 0 degrees of Virgo. And then it will be at 10 degrees of Virgo at the end of the month. So starting it out, we have a lot of things going on in that 5th house. Okay, remember what I said about the male, the female, getting together, it's all fun and all that kind of good stuff, but remember it's Venus is retrograde. So even though there's a whole lot of opportunities that are in there, okay, be aware that with Venus retrograde, if you have met during that retrograde recently, then wait until the middle of the month before you get married. Okay, slow that passion down a little bit to make sure if it really is exactly what you are wanting. Okay, Jupiter multiplying. Jupiter is in Virgo, and it's going to only move 6 degrees. It starts out at 4 degrees and it ends up at 10 degrees. Oops, sorry about that. Ends up at 10 degrees of Virgo. So Jupiter, that spiritual quest, wisdom, expansion, long journeys, justice, law, truth, banking. Okay, it is not really happy in the sign of Virgo, as I had put it up what right here. It's not. See what the glyphs that I'm doing, the symbols, and like I said, I'm going to do a separate, so you will know what all these are. It's like that. It looks like there's so much on this board, but there's so much information that I'm trying to give you, and that's why it's like a little bit difficult to put it all, on paper. All right. So bear with me. I have another month to try to get these doing good. So even though that Virgo is not Jupiter's most happy sign, because Jupiter likes to expand and Virgo is more organized, so the expansion will be more organized. And as you see, Jupiter stays in a sign for a year. So it's going to be in Virgo for a year. Alrighty. Saturn. Saturn, that teacher, the Lord of karma, structure, teacher of lessons, restraint, self-discipline, liberation. Okay, now Saturn is at 28 degrees of Scorpio. So Saturn had just gone direct recently, and Saturn being in Scorpio, what was that icky goo that was and is being exposed, okay? Because Saturn, Saturn, that teacher, and it's in your 8th house, okay? It's in your 8th house, but it's going to be moving it to your 9th house on the 18th when it goes in to Sagittarius. Okay, now going into Sagittarius, that long distance travel, higher learning, spiritual quests. Okay, what are you teaching? Now, I do see a lot of what Saturn has uncovered in Scorpio, okay, that it will be more in the open once Saturn goes into Sagittarius. And Saturn, it's in a sign for 2.5 years. Okay, so Saturn, being that it was retrograde, it's going back into Sagittarius, and there's going to be a lot of new teachings that are going to be uncovered and revealed in the near future. So we have Uranus. Uranus is 19 degrees retrograde in Aries. Aries, you know, that first house. Who are you? Uranus, unexpected change, freedom, invention. Who are you making yourself into? Okay, now Uranus is retrograde, and it's at 19 degrees, and it's going to stay 19 degrees retrograde throughout the whole month. So as you see, Uranus takes 7 years to go through. But who are you? Who are you changing yourself into? Are you really being who you are? Or are you still who people want you to be? Okay, so go ahead, be yourself. Maybe at that full moon, that's when you let go of the old. That's maybe when you start being yourself, you know? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? Are you happy being who you are? Or are you unhappy because you are listening to people tell you who you should be? Okay? Now, Neptune. Neptune is at 8 degrees, retrograde in Pisces. Okay, it's only going 1 degree backwards to 7 degree the whole month. So as you see, the truth is revealed during a Neptune retrograde. And Neptune is at home in the sign of Pisces. And Neptune will stay in a sign for approximately 14 years. Now, Neptune, that's the illusions, delusions, escape with alcohol and drugs, but it's also the Christ-like universal love, okay? Those are the psychic dreams, visions, okay? Being in Pisces, it is greater amplified. Being in your 12th house, those intuitive secrets, okay, the 12th house, karma, jails, secret enemies, institutions, hidden enemies, that is the things, those are the things that you are going to be revealing, okay? So what do you do with that information when you get it? Okay. Now, Pluto, that change, transformation. And yes, as you see, it's after death and before birth. That is what it rolls. 8 to 20 years. That's a big transformation in there too, huh? And you also have right here, 14 to 21 years, Venus. So how many changes did Pluto make in your life? How many is Pluto still changing? So, Pluto retrograde, all right, we are dealing with our inner fears. Now, Pluto is going direct on the 25th. At the end of the month, Pluto is going to be going forward, but it will still end up at 12 degrees of Capricorn. Okay, so Pluto is in Capricorn at the beginning of September, and Capricorn is in your 10th house. Now, Pluto takes 8 to 20 years to go through one sign. So Pluto in Capricorn is going to be hanging there for a while. And you see the Capricorn, the ambition, determination, responsible. It is a cardinal sign, which is in the present. What are you creating? What are you actively creating in your career, your status, your father, your fame? What are the new things that are going to be transformed in your life? Okay, Aries? Astrologically, you have some pretty good things that are going on. Now, when I had set these up, Aries is that first out of the box. And you will see at the bottom, they're all cardinal. Right here in the middle, it's all fixed. Up at the top row, it's all mutable. So, cardinal is the present. That is what's going on now. Now, here we have the fixed, which is the future. What is going to be going? Is it so fixed in that it cannot be changed? And then at the top we have the mutable signs, and they are that adaptability, and that is the past. So, have you learned those lessons from the past and have become adaptable to understand that the future is not fixed, and what you do in the present does affect your future? Okay, and in the present right now, Uranus, Mercury, Pluto. So what communications can you change? Okay, are you starting to stand up more for yourself at this time? All right, we have Cancer right there in the 4th house. Is that something that you need to stand up and speak about more in your home life? Now, in the future, okay, the work, loving your work, having a good time, but learning those lessons, okay? So what you're doing now, and remember, with all that fun that's going on in there, and with Mercury going to be going retrograde in your relationships, all right, learn those lessons with your relationships. Okay, because you might have problems in the future if you don't. Now, in the past, where Jupiter and Neptune, okay, the illusions, delusions, have you learned of those that you really need to wake up, wake up and smell the roses, as they say? Because if the past is going to become the future, well, then you know what's up. Okay, different name, different face. It's still the same old. So, how did you like the astrological part of your reading? Now we are going to do the tarot, and I have things that I'm going to have to figure out how I'm doing, as in the lighting without the shadows, although I guess I could make some, well, no, I'll let you interpret the sign language. Alrighty, so as we started out, we'll start out with the bottom. Okay, now this is the energy that you have underneath you to work with, the things to put behind you. And Aries, as we were just talking about, that transformation of you in the 1st house, the hangman is a very good symbolic meaning of that. Okay, quit hanging yourself by the foot. All right, cut yourself down, pick yourself up, let's get going. It's not as bad as what you think. All right, so as we started out, we start out with the 3 of Cups, and this is in your 1st house, your 1st house of self. Are you taking good care of yourself? Now we also see the Mercury and the Cancer in this card here. And since this is going in your first house, and we just got done talking about Mercury and Cancer being in your present, okay, that is something that you should, pay attention to. We just got done talking about it, that this is what's going on astrologically, and then the tarot comes up and says, yep, be good to you, okay? If you're not good to you, how can you expect other people to be good to you, all right? Now, in your second house, the second house of earnings, wealth, possessions, you have the Six of Wands, the victory. Now, Taurus, that's in there, okay? Taurus is strength, patience, values, okay? So you have a good grip on in the month of September. All right, you're working hard and your money is multiplying. You see your Leo there, and up at the top, that glyph is Jupiter. So by communicating your worth, you will be victorious in getting your value paid for. All right. Now, in the third house of communications, siblings, short trips, we have the Four of Cups, the blended pleasure. Okay, now Gemini's already in there, and Gemini's that communication, inquisitive, versatile. Okay, it's a mutable sign, so of course it's adaptable. You kind of have to be adaptable. Now, are you saying pleasantries to your family? Is that part of? Is going to see your family part of your agenda? If it is, you would be very happy in doing that. Okay, you have the moon, and you also have Cancer. Okay, so the moon is in Cancer. We just got done talking about it in your home. So if you get to go and visit home, you will be very happy that you did that. Okay, now in the fourth house of home, sacred space, property, mother, you have that Cancer in there, and you also have the Two of Cups. That's that love. You see Venus and Cancer in there again. You're getting a lot of Cancer energy. Okay, we have drawn 4 cards, and 3 of them have Cancer on them. Okay, well, I could say 4 signs of Cancer, being that the moon is on the one in the third house, but things are looking really, really good for you in the month of September. You're gonna be very happy. Keep that communications open. Okay, keep that communications open, and say what you mean what you say. Don't say it mean. You know how I say that. Okay, the Princess of Swords. This is going into your 5th house of fun, creativity, sex, children. Now, this is symbolic of an air sign, the yellow being the air, and swords is mental, communication, illness, travel. All depends on how it's aspected. And being that it's going into your fun house, your 5th house, okay, fun, creativity, sex, children. Remember, we have that Mars and Venus that are already in there. So it looks like a very good time to play in the month of September, Aries. Now, here we have in the 6th house of health, service, work, daily routine. Jupiter is in there multiplying, and you have the Prince of Wands. Wands is work. So as that man in the chariot who takes the grip of the reins in one hand and the sword, the staff of knowledge in the other, and make your way, gather everything, and blaze those trails. Aries, that's what you're good at. You are great at blazing trails. So grab those reins. Jupiter's in there to multiply your work at what you're doing, and do it. Okay? Now, here we have in the 7th house of partnerships, relationships, we have the 5 of Cups. And we also have the symbols of Mars and Scorpio. Okay, so the Mars, the male energy, the Scorpio, the hidden dark. What is going on that you are not communicating enough? Remember what we had already said about the 7th house and Mercury and retrograde and contracts and partnerships and relationships. Well, this is saying, okay, that if you do not speak your mind, you're not going to be happy. So you might as well speak your mind and be happy that you spoke, rather than keeping it in and making you sick. Okay? Resentments are like swallowing poison and waiting for someone else to die. But you have to be the one who communicates your emotions. What is working? What is not working? If you don't communicate, then, well, that's a big part of it. Okay? That's a big, big part of it. All right, now Saturn. Saturn in that 8th house of inheritance, taxes. Whoa, it just wanted to jump right out of my hand because it's the Magician. It's like magic. Magic just jumps in there. Okay? 8th house, other people's money. As if by magic, there's going to be some money that's going to be coming in there. Here you have the glyph of Mercury that's in there also. So communications is essential in the 8th house. What are you doing with other people's money? Is it contracts that need to be signed? Remember what I said about Mercury retrograde, being that Mercury's there on that card? Be very careful in dealings with other people's money in the month of September. Now, in the 9th house, the 9th house of long distance travel, spiritual quests, higher learning, you have the 3, the Empress. There's the Venus down in there again, that number, that fertility. So learning is going to be a blessing. You are going to, whether it is learn or teach, there are new creations that is coming in the month of September. Okay? Now, Pluto in the 10th house, that career house, the fame, the father. You have the Wheel of Fortune. And you see Jupiter is a glyph on there. So Jupiter is multiplying. So what goes around comes around in your career. If you have put it out there, if you have put the time in, if you have done the work, the Wheel of Fortune is coming around, and look forward to it clicking in your career house. Okay, the 11th house of hopes and wishes, your friends and associates. You have a 2 of Wands. You also see the glyphs of Mars at the top and Aries at the bottom. What is the holdup with your friends? Is there a holdup that you need to place? Are your friends part of that relationship that you need to get straightened out? Are your friends impeding in that relationship that you are trying to get straightened out? Okay, so remember, those who are closest know where your soft spots are. So keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Okay, now the 12th house, karma, jails, hidden secrets, institutions, hidden enemies. Okay, Four of Pentacles, the earthly power. You see the glyph for the sun and also for Capricorn in there. Okay, now what kind of work can you do in the sector that is hidden and not always talked about? There will be money in that process. Okay, so if you're looking to go to work in a jail or an institution, do not feel as if that is less than, but it is actually, you will be much rewarded for the work that you do in those institutions, because we know that the institutions, as they are set up as such, are yeah, it's not good. Reformation needs to be done. And we see the different countries and how they jail their individuals, and it vastly is different than the profit-driven private corporations of the United States. Okay, now let's see what kind of summary we can do on it. Remember, as we started out with those cardinal fixed and mutable signs, on the bottom we have the present. In the middle we have the future, and at the top we have the past. Okay, so at the bottom with the love and the loss of pleasure, well, we already know what we need to do in order to solve that. Say what you mean what you say, don't say it mean, but you got to speak your piece. You got to keep your emotional balance, and the only way that you can do that is if you talk about it. Now, in the future, what's coming up? Okay, more work. More work. Not necessarily your friends involved in it, but that's okay. You're going to have fun. You really don't need friends in order to have fun, okay? And are the friends that you have, do they have your back? You know, do they have your back? If you have one good friend in your life, consider yourself lucky, okay? So, one good friend. That's it. And if you don't feel like you have one good friend, well, then who is your higher power? Okay? Are you being the God in your life, or are you allowing other people to be the God in your life? Now, in the past, okay, where the new birth, new creations, and this looks like it's something that was some fairly new birth creations have brought some financial reward to you. Okay, so Aries, the month of September looks pretty fantastic for you. And yeah, I'm going to put up a cheat sheet video so it will explain a whole lot more detail. You'll want to check that out, because I will go into those little cheat sheets a whole lot more, in more detail, okay? Because when you look at it symbolically, you'll be able to identify it easier if you have all of that information for the general readings. Okay, and if you would like a personal reading, I am always available. So, well, okay. So, I'm always available, it's just when I'm available. How's that? So please contact me at Mystic Glow Lady. No W in there, just GLoLady. Mystic, MYSTIC, at gmail.com. Mystic Glow Lady. And say, hey Lisa, I would really like to have a reading. And we will arrange it, or go to my website, GLoLady.com, and check out my services page. And yeah, let me do it by donation. Okay, Aries. See you, love you, bye.